Hello everyone, and thank you so much for purchasing my Rustic Harvest card class. We're going to have a lot of fun in this class because there's two fun fold cards that we're going to put together. Now, you should receive the video and PDF and enough material to create two of each card with envelopes. Let's look at the cards. I've kept the belly band off of this one just not to slide it on and off all the time, but we're going to make this little creation right here for our belly band, and then this card opens like that, so that's a lot of fun. Now remember, you receive everything to put the card together, and it's in the envelopes, okay? I use the envelopes as the little pouches so that you can work on one card at a time, and this one is my favorite. You're going to put a lot of these together after you do this class, because you think that this is difficult, but it's not. It's really simple. And then it gives you this strip to decorate on. I think that's a lot of fun too. This one with the Mary Merlot, I'm so happy they use that color. I don't use that color enough in the fall, and we should. Look how pretty that looks with Mossy Meadow and Crushed Curry. Really nice. Nice little envelope right there. Okay, and then this one, I love these leaves. I love these. I like that element. And right here. Now, so you should also receive, speaking of that element, the pack of the Leaf Label and Amber Gem Combo Pack. You should receive linen thread, and then a half a pack of the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. And then, of course, if you add it on the embossing folder or if you add it on the bundle, that will be in your pack also. Now, please, if I've left anything out, just email me and I will send it to you immediately. Thanks again, and we're going to do some happy crafting in just a second. I'll be right back, and we'll start with one of these beautiful cards. Okay, let's start with this pretty card. I never use enough Mary Merlot in the fall, so I was so happy that this Designer Series paper had that color in it. And so our base here is Mary Merlot, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You're going to cut from your DSP a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4, and then another piece of this side of this paper that has the pumpkins on it, the black and white stripe. I love this paper because like the other side is black and white. I would have used that, but I really love the stripes a little bit more. So, but you know, you can do whatever you'd like. So then I cut this at 5 1/4, of course, by 2. So that's what you'll need to cut. And then the rest of it is, you're going to find it all in, if you're new to my classes, you'll find everything to put together this one card, except for like your twine and your embellishments right there. You find all the paper right in here, okay? So like, I don't know if you have this die cut, so I include it, all right, for you. This piece of Mossy Meadow, you can put adhesive sheet on the back of it if you'd like, but I'm just going to use some Tombow, and that's what I cut these two little pieces out here with, these two little dies that come in the set. Okay, so we're using these two. Let's of course, let's first look at all the dies. Okay, so we have a big pumpkin. We have a way to make a pumpkin with 3, and I love the way that they're embossed. Like with the outside of the pumpkin being a little jaggedy like that. A nice banner, a sunflower, the tops to the pumpkin, and then we have 3 of these squiggles right here. So on this card, I didn't use this larger squiggle. I used these 2 little ones. But of course, you use any squiggles that you want, okay? And then we have a leaf die. I use this one a lot. And then the pumpkin. I love this pumpkin. I love this. This is so pretty. Nice to color. I had even did one in green on another card on my YouTube channel. You could check that out. It really came out cute. And then this cuts out the flowers that are in the stamp set. Right here, this like array, this bouquet like of flowers right here. We have a die for this. We have a die for that right there. And then we have this little line thing right here that's just like a little, I don't know, accent. I don't know what to call it. Just, yeah, just to kind of have fun with these guys right here. So I use every stamp and every die for these cards. And I think I say this all the time when I'm doing a class. I think as a demonstrator, that's my job. Like to try to use every single one. It would be easy for me to focus just on a few and make a lot of cards with, you know, with that. But I think as my job as a demonstrator, it's important that I pass on how to use every single thing in the bundle. Okay, so the inside is just basic white, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Very simple stamping in there. And let's go ahead and start to do a little stamping. So in your kit, you'll have this piece of basic white, and it's about, what is it, like 2 1/2 by 2 1/2? Yeah. Yep. Okay, so 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And you're going to take your pumpkin, and the colors we're going to use are Mary Merlot, Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, and Tuxedo Memento Black Ink, because we're going to color with some blends. So let's do that first. So I live in the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee, and today is a beautiful fall day out there. It is just blowy, and you can smell it. So I'm just going to stamp this right here, and I'm going to let that ink absorb into the paper, not really pressing too hard. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and I'm going to put this aside so that it can, I always kind of like for it to dry a little bit. Sometimes the Memento ink can get a little juicy. Okay, now I'm going to bring my banner in right here, and I want to stamp on here, You're Such a Blessing. And, oh, I'm actually going to do that in Tuxedo Memento Black Ink. Let's just do that. And we'll stamp right over here. Just like that. Oh, that came out great. I like the lining on the font on this blessing and the hello, how it's lined. I love that. So I'm also going to put that aside just to do its own drawing right there. Okay, now I can close up the black. I do my classes like that you can craft right along with me. So, you know, I stamp and I cut things. I rarely have things already done when I do a class because I just like you guys to craft right here with me. Okay, so now on this piece is basic white, about 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And that basic white, I didn't have that written down here on my, let me get this right quick. That was 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. Okay. All right, now I feel better. I keep notes off to the side, and then that's how that I get everything going with the PDF. So okay, so here we're going to stamp now in Mary Merlot. So see, what I do is like I'll do my videos, and then I take all my notes and I go over to the computer, and then I do the PDF. Sometimes I do one video, one PDF, and you know, like that. But today I'm kind of in a creative mode, so I want to play and make cards. So I'm going to do all my videos first. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp 3 of these leaves. You could hold it like that. There's Mary Merlot. I'm going to clean it. I always have my chamois off to the side. Then I'm going to go into Crushed Curry. And right here. Nice. And I clean that off. And into Mossy Meadow. Stamp there. Good. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to just put that to the side. I've got my 2 little squiggles on here on my Mossy Meadow piece that's in your envelope, and this is 2 by 2. And you've got plenty enough room here. You could even make more of them if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to scooch that aside. I already have my leaf die out. I'm ready for that. Let's go ahead and color our pumpkin now. So I want to do just a little bit of blending with this. And on the top here, I want to do, let's just do a dark crumb cake, okay? And I'm going to use the brush tip of the dark crumb cake. And Just going to make a little top here. Just like that. And let me make sure, I think I didn't put that in the directions either. Crumb cake. I always list my blends. Now, I used crumb cake. If you have something that is around about that, in that brown area, you're good. That will look fine. Now I'm going to use the nib tip of the pumpkin pie, and this is the dark. And I really want this dark. Every line here that Stampin' Up! Gives me, I'm going to go ahead and color and just add this dark to it. Okay, every line except my outline, okay? Not your outline. Inside the pumpkin, I'll say that. So just come up through here, and as you see, I'm not using any rhyme or reason. I'm not taking any pains with this because honestly, I'm not an artist whatsoever. And I really want to show you how the product works for itself. Okay, so there we go with the dark. Now I'm going to take the light, and I want the brush tip on this. And I'm going to come around through here, and I'm just going to come over what I've already done. And I'm going to just come down into that pumpkin. What this does is reactivate that ink where it's dark. And it's going to kind of give it a shadowing effect. A nice blended kind of, that's why they're called blends, right? A blended coloring, but you'll see some shading. And then I'm going to show you something. I did this on my other pumpkin. I didn't do it on this one at all. But I'm going to show you something that you can do. You don't have to, because I think this looks really cool in pumpkin pie. Just like we just went to the pumpkin patch and picked this right out of there. But you know, pumpkins have a lot of shading, right? So as you can see, we've got some darkening around those areas that I hit first with the dark pumpkin pie. Okay, let's close this up. Now what I want to do, and that looks pretty good as far as shading goes, but you want to hit it again with the nib tip, okay? And just come in here and come down these lines just a little bit. Reactivate that darkness. And then just let it blend into, because you're reactivating that lighter ink also as you're doing this. Just like this. Okay. And now that even gives it more dimension. Do you see that? Isn't that great? But what you've really done is allowed the alcohol ink to work for itself. It just kind of, you know, spread out into itself. The Tuxedo Memento Black, the reason why we stamp in that is because it's like it gives it like a border, so it doesn't go outside of that. Now, you see how the inside of this is light? Well, sometimes the inside of pumpkins are very light, okay? Because they haven't, you know, matured yet, or where they've laid in the patch. Okay, so this is what's called a color lifter, okay? And if you want this type of effect, take your color lifter into the center of this pumpkin and just bring it around through here. Just let it color, and don't get crazy with it. Don't keep going over it, because it's going to do its thing, okay? Just let it sit. Do you see how it's lightening up the inside of that pumpkin just a little bit to give me even more variation? I'm just going to leave that just like that. I will list the color lifter for you also. Okay, just because if you wanted that effect, okay? All right, now let's go ahead And are we ready to die cut? Let's go ahead and make a bow, okay, while that's kind of drying over there with all the alcohol. So you're going to take your twine, and however that you like to make a bow. I use the 10-second bow maker, and I just wrap it around twice. And I want a double loop for my bow here, just like that. And we'll just snip that right there. So we have that completed. Okay. Take that off of there, and then we're ready. All right, now well, you know what? Let's go ahead and stamp. We didn't stamp the inside or the envelope yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, here we're going to go ahead and stamp hello. Did I put that on? Nope, I didn't put that one on a block. So we're going to stamp that in Mary Merlot. Right here. And look at those lines. So now, because of that, you don't really want to squish this onto the paper, you know. You just kind of want to hold it. And I kind of just rub over top of it. Let that ink soak into the paper. There we go. That came out cute. All right, now I'm going to come up the side here. I want to get a piece of scrap paper. I just used some old computer paper. And I'm just going to come up the side with my leaves again. And I'll start with my mossy meadow on the bottom. And I'm going to come, even if I come off of the page just a little bit. Let me clean this. And I'll go into my Mary Merlot. And I'm going to come this way with it. Nice. And then into the crushed curry, and I'll come up this way with this one. Cute. Look how nice that looks. Isn't that nice for the inside of a card, right? Just something a little different. So, well, you know, while we're talking about it, let's go ahead, because we're finished, let's go ahead and put that in there, right? Just like that. Simple, simple. This is why I love liquid glue. I need wiggle room. Just like that. Nice. Okay. Let me bring my envelope in and my scrap piece of paper again. And let's just go up the side there with the leaves. Mary Merlot. Come right here. Crushed curry. And here. Mossy Meadow here, and I want another Mary Merlot. Another nice Mary Merlot one right up here. There we go. That makes the outside of the envelope just look so interesting, right? It just looks fun. You put the return address here, stamp here, you're good to go. All right, now I believe it's time to die cut. I'm going to bring in the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll bring the big one in because we can get more on the platform, right? Okay. So the leaves, we only have one die for the leaves. So we're going to just, whoop, had that upside down. So we'll cut these out 3 times, and I'm just going to use a little washi tape just to hold that in place. I'm going to take my 2 squiggles, get them ready to go, and I'll be able to fit my pumpkin on here also. So, you know, I always tell everybody, if they are looking for a die cutting machine, and, you know, I know the mini is so cute, and it's absolutely adorable. Okay, it's a toy, but if you're really looking, you know, for something that you can use, you know, constantly, get the big one first, because it fits all the embossing folders. You get all the plates, of course. Look at how many projects I can put on here at once, you know, so that's always wonderful, right? So that's what I always tell everybody. So I'm going to easy with the washi tape as you peel it off. Look at how cute the pumpkin is, right? And see, now you just throw this away. That is something too with my classes. You know, I give you everything even inside the card to go ahead and complete all of your, you know, like the inside of the card with the base in there where you could put your hello, you know, extra layers. I always give you everything. But with how many that get cut in a month, and it's just me here, yes, if I leave something out, please let me know. And I will already apologize. But it can happen, you know. Okay, so there's one leaf. And let's do 2 right here. See, and then we'll just have to run this back through twice and get this going. No big deal. I always feel like I'm really crafting if I'm cranking, you know. I know that every time, this was a very, very, very long time ago, when I first started, I started doing some in-person classes, but then with my work schedule, of course, I had to do totally online. Well, when all of that went on, the ladies, as soon as I noticed that, as soon as they cranked through the Big Shot, because at that time, that's what we had was the Big Shot, I mean, they loved getting up out of their seat and going. I had a little station set up with, you know, where you could score, cut, score, and emboss and, you know, crank and everything. But as soon as they used the Big Shot, it was like they were really crafting. There was just something about it. I don't know. So that's fun. Okay, right there. Pretty. And see, then you just throw this away. So you don't have a whole lot of waste, you know, with my classes. Okay, let me move this out of the way. But of course, you always have extra DSP so you can make more cards, right? All right, now let's go ahead and here's our base. I always check, because I don't know, if you follow me, you've seen me glue things on upside down. It happens. Then I look here, and this is not directional paper, but I want to see, like, what do I want at the top? I really like this Mary Merlot here. I know I'm going to cover up that pumpkin, but that's going to go right here. You want to go ahead and attach this first. So I'm going to attach this with Tombow, and I'll show you why. Because you never know with your measurements if you could be just a little bit off on the edges, okay? So I'm going to bring this here, and you want to glue this on the center. I tap, tap. I think I'm good. But if you had any overhang, now would be the time to cut it, right? Before we, of course, add it to here. Now, I'm going to put this down with Tombow because everything else I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. But, of course, if you wanted to pop this up with dimensionals, you could. So I'm going to take this, put some Tombow. And I'm going to put this on the base of the card, leaving a nice border of Mary Merlot. Right there. Good. And then we're going to build. Let's build our picture, because this is what makes the card. Okay, so we're going to put the pumpkin here. So cute. Let's go ahead and get some dimensionals out. We're going to be using dimensionals and Tombow. So I'm just going to put, like, I think 3's plenty right there. I'm going to attach this to the left side, okay, right about here. Now I'm going to put our sentiment on here. This needs Tombow on this side and a little dimensional over here, okay? I don't even think it's going to take a whole one. I think it needs like a side here because most of it is kind of on our pumpkin. So I just cut these triangles right here out of the edges, and that's what I use. And then a little Tombow here, right? So it doesn't move. And we're going to place this right here on our pumpkin kind of in the center. Make sure right here that you don't come off of the card base because of the envelope. See? And then you just attach that down and that dimensional will hold it. It's on there with Tombow and it's perfect. Okay, now let's go ahead and attach a squiggle. Now if you did put adhesive sheet on the back of your little piece, that's wonderful. Just peel it off and it's time to attach these now. Of course, I'm just going to dot it with some Tombow. It's good. Just like that. And I'm going to take this one up here and I want it to extend down into my sentiment just a little bit. I don't want it to cover my sentiment, but I want it to squiggle onto it. I usually then just get like a block and stick it on there just for a little bit of weight while I'm working with the other one. So I'm going to take this one and like I put a dot out and then I use my tip and I just kind of spread it. Okay, just like that. And now this one's going to come underneath our sentiment right here, like it's kind of squiggling out of there, just like that. And I'll put a little bit of weight on there. I'm going to get my 3 little leaves, dimensionals on the back of each one. One will be plenty. Just put it right about here. Okay, take those backs off. There we go. Isn't that nice? The block just kind of helps it. So Mary Merlot, I'm going to put in the center. Mossy Meadow, that one could have been, I could have stamped that a little bit darker, but we're good. Right down there. Crushed curry up here. A nice little trio of leaves. Let them overlap, just like that. Then we're going to take our bow that we made with a glue dot. Just take your glue dot, roll it up just a little bit there, and put it on the back of your bow, right here. That helps the knots stay there also. And we're going to put this on the corner here of the pumpkin. So cute. All right, now we're going to get, now this is beautiful, okay, but I want you to look at this. Once we add the amber gems, it becomes a completely different card. It's like those little gems, they make it. I'm going to use a large one up here, and then I'm going to use a smaller one here, and then another large one here. Oh, I love that. And here's our first card. Isn't that pretty? I love Mary Merlot. I hope you enjoyed putting that together with me. Okay, back in a minute and we'll get to another one. Okay, let's go ahead with this card. I love this card. So the belly band, you know, goes around here, and there's bulk here. Okay, so we're going to talk about this belly band not being so tight around the edges. All right, so we'll do that together. And then, of course, this accordion's out. It's so simple. This is really easy. Okay, so don't be intimidated by a beautiful card like this, because it's really very easy. So we're going to start with, and I've got my spot, my Mossy Meadow spot. I think it has more ink in it than my ink pad. Now, in your envelope, you're going to have a pile of goodies here, okay? And they are going to be the base of the card right here at 5.5 by 4 1/4. There's going to be a piece of Mossy Meadow that's already embossed for you, because I don't know if you have this embossing folder. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. This will go onto that base just like that. That's how simple that is. Then all of these little elements right here for your belly band, the circle with the stylish shape dies, and then this decorative new circle punch, and the stylish shape right there. This is all in your kit. I cut all this out for you, okay? Because I really don't know who orders, whenever you order from me, what you really have and what you might substitute or this or that. So I try to send everything. Okay, so that's in your kit. You'll have an extra piece of Mossy Meadow. You'll have an extra piece of basic white. That's to do a little stamping and a little cutting on. You'll have a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 2 3/4. You'll have some basic black. Now you'll have 2 of them cut at 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. You'll have 2 of these, and then you'll have 2 of them cut at 1 3/8 by 4 1/8. So 2 of these. And then you'll have a piece of Cajun Craze right here. This is for the accordion that we're going to make. And this piece is 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so I'm sending you all of this. But then what you need to cut is a piece of DSP for the belly band that is 1 by 12. And it doesn't matter how this paper goes because it's going to be wrapped around and it's fine. Okay, so that's 1 by 12. You'll need 2 pieces of DSP, different DSP, okay, even the backs, okay, they're different. Okay, so I like the little stitches here, or the dots, and the pumpkins. And let's see, this DSP is 1 1/4 by 4. 1 1/4 by 4. So you'll need to cut that. Then you'll need to cut 2 more pieces of DSP, same thing. Okay, with I use the dots and the pumpkins. Use any DSP that you want. And this one is 2 1/4 by 4. 2 1/4 by 4 of these 2 pieces. These are going to layer onto the basic black that I'm sending you. Then you'll need this one little piece here of Rustic Harvest DSP. That's 3/4 by 4. Okay, so if you want to stop the video, or you might have to run it back or something, or look at the PDF for the measurements and everything. I did my PDF this month a little bit differently than what I had been. I've been seeing a lot of repetition in my PDF, and I really wanted to like give you all the measurements so that you could just go to it and look and say, okay, I'm working on the inside of the card. What do I need to cut? If I need to cut anything, you know. So yeah, you know, especially if you're doing, you know, multiple of these, and you probably will. So that's why I kind of changed the PDF a little bit, and I think it's just a little bit easier to look at. There was just too much. It was too busy. So that was my thought. Okay, let's move this aside, and let's go ahead and stamp our beautiful envelope here with our leaves. I love that. I love to go up the side like that. We'll start with simple here. I'm going to open this Mossy Meadow spot, and I'm going to get my leaf. And where the other card we used all different colors. Ooh, that is juicy. That's brand new. Wow, and I've had that in there for a while. Let's see what that looks like. Wow, that is a juicy ink pad. Nice. Well, that solved that problem, huh? Very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp. Wow, that is nice. Okay. And we'll just come up the side here, and I will go off of the page a little bit with these. Or off of the envelope, I should say. And then this way. And you don't always have to turn that ink upside down. I just do that. You can tap into it. You know, like I can tap this way into it. So there's my envelope. Wow, that is nice and fall-like, isn't it? Like that. Let me move this aside. And my paper here. And let's see. Let's go ahead and use this smaller piece of basic white that's in your kit, and this is 4 by 2 3/4, and you should have a piece, you should have cut a piece of DSP that is 3/4 by 4, and this is going to fit out here as just a little bit of an embellishment right there. We want to add this first, and then we want to add our stamp so that our stamp is in the right position. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and attach this to the outside edge so that we don't see any white. Just like that. And now I'm going to stamp You Are Such a Blessing. We're going to use Cajun Craze. So I'm using Mossy Meadow Cajun Craze and Tuxedo Memento black ink. And a little Cajun Craze right here. And right here at the top. See, now we can position this really nicely, hopefully. There we go. Great. Just a little down and up, and that lets that line, oh, it really defines it. Really, really cute. Okay, now we're going to move this aside. Okay, now let's go ahead. You know what I didn't bring is a piece of basic white for your pumpkin, which is 3 by 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll use a scrap here. And let's go ahead and stamp our pumpkin in Tuxedo Memento black ink. And we're going to use our pumpkin pie and our crumb cake to go ahead and color our pumpkin. Go ahead and do that now. Well, you know what? I think I'll just let this kind of dry. Let's get our little sentiment out here. Our little, this comes from the Stylish Shape dies. I use these a lot. And I'm going to use the hello. And I'm just going to stamp that right here in the center in Cajun Craze. Good. Perfect. Let's scooch that aside. And I think we're good here. Let me take a look. I still see a little, like it looks a little shiny. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring in my little scrap piece of basic white, and we'll stamp a couple of leaves again. And we'll just do, watch, we'll just tap, tap, okay? That's plenty. And we'll stamp 2 leaves. These we're going to cut out with the die. So there we go there. We'll move that aside. Okay? All right, now we should be able to color our little pumpkin. Dark crumb cake. I'm going to use the nib tip, just like we colored the other one. And I'm just going to get our little stem here. Now this time I won't use the color lifter in the center because I showed you guys that technique on the first. And let's get some of the dark in here. And remember, we're going to go over this twice. And see, I don't take any pains. Look, I don't even care if I'm straight. I'm just kind of laying the color, you know, in there, that's all. And I don't want you all to think with these blends that you have to be an artist either, because you don't. As you can tell. And now I'm going to color with the light. My tip is getting a little worn with this pumpkin pie here, so I'm kind of using the side of it. I guess I've used it a ton. And again, you know, you see, I'm not taking any pains with this whatsoever. I'm just, go for it. Just trying to stay inside the lines the best I can because of my marker there. Ooh, I got outside the lines there pretty bad. I will use that color lifter now, won't I? We'll have to clean that up a little bit. And just up through there. Good. Let me get that color lifter. And I'm just going to take the little nib tip. And now, I know it says color lifter, but I always get a better result if I just take the ink and push it back into the other ink. See, just push it back in. And just leave it alone and let that color lifter work. Okay. just, there we go. And right in here a little bit. Now I'm going back and forth, but really just start with, push it back into the ink. There we go. Or into your color space. Now I want to take the dark one again, and the nib tip, and we're going to add our dimension to this. And again, I am not taking pains with this whatsoever. I'm just going to let this blend out all on its own, and however it ends up is perfect. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside, and let's see. Let's go ahead and attach. Let's go ahead and attach these two pieces, because then we can attach this base after we score it. Now, your piece is not scored. I'm gonna, you guys are gonna score this. So we're gonna take this beautiful painted texture, and whichever side you like, up, debossed, embossed, whatever you like, it doesn't matter. I like both the sides, so whatever kind of is up is good with me. But this is a great background stamp. I mean embossing folder. To give you nice background. Now our card here, the base, is just a panel, and it's a quarter of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So actually, out of one sheet of paper of Cajun Craze, you can actually get 4 of these cards. You know, 4 bases. Okay, so right there. Now let's move this aside. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's take the black and let's lay these guys out. We're going to need 2 panels in the front, and then 2 of the larger ones toward, we'll put the 2 panels here to the left, the small ones, and the larger ones to the right. Now let's go ahead, and remember you cut the DSP. We're going to put this one here, and then a pumpkin, and then the dots, and then a pumpkin, okay? So that's how that's going to lay out after we get things scored. Let's go ahead and put these together. Use any adhesive that you like. You know I'm a liquid glue kind of gal. And I'm just going to allow that nice black border around there. So that's one. And now we go to the pumpkins. And right here, right there. Now back to the dots. I kind of like to keep things in order so that I place them in order together, you know, after we score. So see, your black was the black was already included in your kit. Because like I say, I don't know if you have black cardstock. You could have just run out yesterday. I always keep black, white, you know, I mean, there's just certain colors, bases that I always keep. But hey, you run out, you know. Oh, I remember one time I was doing a class. I got lucky. A lady that I know here in this area had some basic black. I needed 2 pieces. Oh, I was like, oh no. But it happens. Okay. And then we all help each other, right? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue these 2 together. So this circle again is with the stylish shapes, and this is that new decorative circle punch. Let me show that to you. I just got it because it just looked fun. It just looked fun, right? So here it is, and I was like, if they like it, maybe they'll order it. I don't know. You know, you might just use it for this and be like, well, that was nice. You know, so, but I like it. It happens to layer on these circles quite well. So I thought that looked pretty. Pretty nifty right there. Just like that. Okay. And let's see. Now what else can we do? That's it. Well, we have to die cut. Let's die cut, okay? Let's move this. We'll score last, okay? We'll put everything together last. All right, let me get these out of the way. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring the stamp cut and emboss machine in, and we'll get our leaves right here, and my squiggle and my pumpkin. Okay, so you have a little extra there of Mossy Meadow, that little square, and then we'll have to do these guys twice, our leaves, just like that. And let's bring in our pretty pumpkin right here. And right there we go. A little washi tape. Good. And we'll go ahead and get these guys cut out. And we'll take this. We'll have to do that again. Might as well just set that up, right? And we'll get this one. And again, you could just throw this away, right? So that's good. Let's pull this off of here. There we go. Get my pieces. All right. And run this one through. There we go. I thought I was just going to do videos and today, and then I don't know what happened. I just sat down with the other one and started doing the PDF at the same time, and I went, well, at least that's done. I guess that's the way I'll do the rest of the day. So that's okay too, right? Then they'll be done. All right, let me move this out of the way, which isn't really here nor there with you guys because you just get it on your email, right? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and bring in the trimmer. And now you have this beautiful piece of Cajun Craze, such a pretty color. It's 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to score at 3, 5 1/2, 8, and 9 1/2. Okay, so let's do it. 3, score at 3, 5 1/2. I cut it. Oh no, did you see what I did? Look, oh no. Ta-da, let me get a piece of paper. So it is, make sure you use your scoring blade. That's hilarious. I'm so, honest to goodness, I get tickled at myself when that happens. So it's 11, okay, by 4 1/4. Can you believe it? I can. Okay, there we go. All right, at 4, oh, now look at all these fuzzies. Let's talk about fuzzies for just a second. That happens sometimes. And I just use an old nail file and file the fuzzies off. Okay? That's all. That's all that takes. Okay, now let's move the blade out of the way. And let's score again at 3, 5 1/2, scoring blade. That's so funny. 8 and 9 1/2. 8 and 9 1/2. Okay. Now, I turned it around, okay? You want the larger panels on this side. The largest panel on the right. The skinny panels on the left, okay? Easy peasy. Let's do that. Now, let's get a bone folder here. And this is actually what's going to get glued to the back of the card. And this is the part that we're going to put in just a minute, this piece right here that we did a few minutes ago, okay? But now we're going to accordion fold. So here on this score line, fold toward that base. Use your bone folder. Then here on this score line, fold back, use your bone folder. Then on this score line, fold toward the base, use your bone folder. And now on this score line, fold back. Now look at that accordion right there. Look at that. That's so pretty how that just steps. And there's your mechanism. That's it. That's it. It's just literally use your scoring tool instead of your blade and score. Let's go through it again, okay? So the piece is 4 1/4 by 11. We scored at 3 inches, 5 1/2, 8, and 9 1/2, okay? This is the base, the larger piece, and you fold with the score line. You fold toward the base one way, and then you have your big tail here. Then you fold back toward, and then you have a smaller tail. Then you fold toward your base, and then back the other way. So it's this way, that way, this way, that way, okay? That's it. So simple. Now, let's go ahead and attach this to the inside of the card. Let's go ahead and attach this here, okay? And I'm going to put Tombow right here. And this is where you want, see, I didn't want all the bulk of the entire thing, okay? Now, you can do it either way. You could decorate and then attach. I happen to like to attach first because I want to do this. Look at it. Let it fold itself up. I like it. Right there. Okay? Because then I'm going to have that going on. Right? That's perfect. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and decorate. Let's go ahead and put our sentiment on the inside flap. Right here. Just like that. Now remember, I put all of my pieces above here in order, because when I fold it up, I want the dots. See, I want my dots all on the outside. Okay? So my first piece is the pumpkins right here with our basic black. It's a very thin border of Cajun Craze with the basic black and the DSP. So pretty. You guys are going to do this card a lot because, honest, it's not difficult at all to do. This one here. And okay, this is the way that I did mine, okay, with all of them looking alike on the outside. You don't have to do it like that. You can put the pumpkins on the alternate it. No big deal. See how this is going to come? Cute, right? Almost makes it look like a book. Then here. Yeah, if you wanted to alternate some DSP in here, even some black and white, go ahead and do that. You know, you might make this one through the kit with the class in the kit, and then get your own ideas. Look how pretty this is coming. I just had an idea, but I don't know. Here's another idea. Oh, look at how beautiful that, and that gives it such weight, okay? It really makes it feel fantastic when you do all those layers. Here's what else I was thinking. I didn't know if that's almost too big. Yeah, see the points. I mean, you could try, it would impinge it. I didn't know if I could get away with a leaf in there or not. I didn't do it, but yeah. So there's that. Okay, we're good. Now, let's go ahead and work on our belly band. Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that, so I didn't want to, you know, squish it. Okay, now, we have a lot of bulk here, okay? This is 1 inch by 12, and you're just going to bring it over very lightly. I want to show you the space I have here, okay? See my space? You don't want this to be to where it's holding this back, because what's going to happen is this cardstock right here is going to fold up, I promise you, okay? So give it a little bit of like a little give there to where this has a little spring in it, to where it's not impinging on that cardstock that much. Just fold this one over. You can also use a bone folder, but that would give me like a definite crease. And I see my stems are upside down. I'm going to flip that. I might cutting these like the opposite way to where it wouldn't have mattered. But see my stems, I should have I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just cut it 1x12. It'll look great. So yeah. So you definitely, with this, you definitely want some spacing, because if you don't, like I say, it's going to like ripple the sides here. That's why on that other card, I did not keep putting the belly band back on and showing the card, because I thought that it would really ruin the insides there. Oh, my light just went out. Hello? Ouch. Okay, we'll turn that off. Okay. So here, yeah, if that got a little bit dark, we're okay, right? There we go. Okay. So from here, what I do is, either way, this way, that way, it doesn't matter. But right here, I'm just going to kind of hold it. I'm going to put some Tombow in the middle. You can use glue dots. You can use Stamp and Seal Plus. You really want something that's more of a permanent adhesive, and I'm really going to hold that here so it'll take. And then I don't measure, you know. I could say, you know, your belly band could be 1 by 9.5. I just slice it 1 by 12, and then I just cut off my bulk underneath here. Let me slide that off and do that. Yeah, there we go. See, this is going to slide nicely because it has room. But here, you don't need all this bulk in here, okay? So just kind of slip your scissors in there up to where you glued it and take it out. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and place that back on, and we'll start to put our little decorations on here. There we go. And there we go. That slides on there really nicely. I still have a little bit of this out here. I'm going to go ahead and Tombow that down. The more glue kind of on this, the better. I've always said with a belly band. Okay. And now I want to take this and I want to place this on my belly band to cover my little seam there. And I'm just going to use 3 dimensionals. Sometimes I put it on with Tombow, but I really like, a belly band needs dimension. I think it looks so cute. So I'm just going to place 3 right here in the center and 1 right there at that junction. You know, that's going to help that even stay together even better. Okay? So we're going to pick those off. And now we're going to put our embellishment here, right there in the center, because circles, it doesn't matter, right? A circle's always fine. It's cute, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and place our pumpkin right here. As long as we don't go outside the card, you know, you could come off of that circle, which really makes it look cute. Okay, so I'm going to put just 2 dimensionals right here on this side, because the rest is kind of hanging off a little bit. So let's do that. And if we need to add more, we will. So I'm going to do that. And now with my 2 green leaves, I'm just going to take them, I'm going to put a glue dot face up, on the face up, okay? Put a glue dot here on each of those. 1 here, okay? And then 1 on the other one, same place, just like that. And I'm going to stick it under here on my pumpkin, but not off my card, okay? We don't have to worry about the second one. It's that first one you got to worry about. That one comes right under there, just like that. And see, what happens was I push, it sticks to that side of the pumpkin, so that you don't have to worry about it sticking to any part of the card, so that you can slide your belly band, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and take our hello, and I need a glue dot out there, okay? So I need my hello here. I need, not a glue dot, a dimensional. Right about here, okay? And just like we did on that other one, a little Tombow, because we have dimension and flat, okay? And I'm going to put my hello on an angle here, just like that. Cute. Now, where'd my squiggle go? Oh, here. This little piece of greenery that's with Mossy Meadow. Here, we cut that out of the Mossy Meadow little piece. And just a little Tombow. Again, on that little Mossy Meadow piece, if you have adhesive sheets, you just stick a little bit back there, and then you don't have to worry about the Tombow. And I'm just going to attach this right here to the pumpkin. Let's go ahead and tie a bow. I'll get my dimensional out of the way. And we'll tie this cute bow again. Again, I'm going to make a double. And here underneath. And here. Easy peasy. A little glue dot now. And we'll just roll that up just a little bit. Put it here on the back of the bow. And let's put this here on the hello. You know what really makes this card, not that this is, I mean the card itself makes itself, okay? But watch when I add the bow. Just the little embellishments, okay? And now, watch when I add these guys. They're so cute. Okay, let's move on to the third card. So I just love this one because of these leaves. And I'm not going to emboss them for you because then you might have a little bit of a hard time stamping. So if you have the painted texture embossing folder, the 3D one, you can go ahead and run your leaves through there after you stamp them, or something else that might give it some texture. Or you can just leave them plain. That's okay too. So the base is crushed curry, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. The inside piece is basic white, 4 3/4 by 3.5, and a piece of Rustic Harvest DSP, 1 by 3.5. I'm into using my scraps up. And here I actually stamp on DSP and this piece of DSP right here and use that for our sentiment inside. So pretty on that banner. Now, the outside is a piece just of Rustic Harvest DSP 5 1/4 by 4. And then we do all of this. We do all of that nice artwork. So let's go ahead and move this aside. Bring our envelope in. Let's see, I'm going to get my larger little twisty thing here. I don't know what to call this little embellishment, okay? And get some Mossy Meadow and stamp. And we're going to put that right here in the corner of the envelope. Just real simple. And then I'm going to do it on either end. Right here. And then here. Just like that. Wonderful. So there's our envelope. And let's go ahead and bring in 2 of our leaves right here. And I'm going to take this little piece out of the top. There we go. And I'll go ahead and bring in my scrap paper and put my leaves on it. Ooh, I had 2 together there. All right. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead with this little squiggle. And now this one I want to use Early Espresso. Let me find my spot for that. Here it is. Early Espresso I want to use for this. Just a brown on brown. So I'm just going to put this out here like this and just tap it. And then just start stamping this all over this leaf. Randomly, all over. Don't overlap it though. At least I didn't. Down there, just like that. Let's get a little bit right in here. Good. Just like all over the place, just stamp. And then when we run this through with the embossing folder, just gives it some texture. There we go, just like that. Okay? All right, now let's set these aside. Let's see what other trouble we can get into here. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp our piece of DSP. Now, this is just a scrap, so you could use whatever side that you want. This is just a scrap from that black. It's in your DSP. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp Wishing You the Loveliest Day in Tuxedo Memento black ink. Make sure I have it all inked up. And stamp. Nice. Look at how great that looks on DSP. That's wonderful. Just a different way to use your DSP. Okay, now let's go ahead and stamp our flowers. So this little spray of flowers I'm going to stamp in Tuxedo Memento black ink and then color with some blends. Make sure I've got everybody on there good. And you'll get this piece of basic white in your, there we go, good, in your kit, and it should be about 3 by 2 1/4 is about what this is. And now I'm going to put this aside and let that, again, I'm going to let that dry. I kind of like that to happen. And let's go ahead and do a little work on the inside. So, well, we can't because I have to cut that out. Okay. So, color, oh, I have to stamp 3 sunflowers, and we have to color those in Tuxedo Memento black ink. And there's a strip of basic white for you to do this there also. So we're going to do that. They're so cute. I love those sunflowers. Okay, so by now this is nice and dry. Let's go ahead and color. So I just wanted to do a little sunflowery stuff, and I'm going to use a little dark crumb cake here in the centers of these, right here where all the little dark marks are, little dots, right here, and then up here. Good. Then I'm going to take my dark Daffodil Delight and the nib tip, and I'm going to come in here just like we did with that pumpkin, and I'm going to color my flower here toward the center of the sunflower. So just like that around in kind of all the petals. And these are small. This is a small area. So let me see. I don't know if I'm going to use the brush tip on here. I might can. Yeah, I can get that in there. Okay. I didn't know if I was going to use the brush tip or the nib tip. So I'm just going to come in here. Sometimes people call it a bullet tip too. And I'm just going to give these flowers a little color. And you can see where the dark was that I laid down first. It gives it just that little bit of tint and that little bit of shading that we like. And I'm just going to come around here. Just like that. Those will be green. That's a petal. Let's see. These are all petals in here. Really easy coloring just with the very tip of this brush tip, because as you see, the ink spreads out. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing that we did on the pumpkin. I'm going to go back in and redefine the dark color. And just with a little bit of markings inside these flowers, Just gives it a little something different. Just like that. And let that ink reactivate. Oh, that looks so pretty. And you know, I mean, what did that take? An extra maybe 10 seconds? But look, you can tell the difference there, right? Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to use some light old olive here and the little bullet or nib tip. And I'm going to come around and get all of my leaves now so that then I know what flowers need to be colored. It's almost like a process of elimination here. And there. And here's these little these little leaves attached to our sunflowers. And I'm gonna, let's say, come in through here. See, so this is an easy way to do, you know that you're coloring everything. Just work your way around. Identify what is a leaf. And then when you work your way around again, you'll identify what's a flower. So pretty, right? Okay, now what I want to do, I've got my pumpkin pie here. And in the larger flowers, I'm going to use my dark pumpkin pie. Right here. Just like that. Let's see, where else? So there's the larger flower there. Up through here. Just like that. Okay. All right. That's good. Now, these little flowers, okay, I want to use my light pumpkin pie. And again, that little bullet tip. And I'm going to go on the inside, and I'm just going to make a dot. I'm going to show you how cute these are. Just color the inside of them. These are so sweet. And then these three over here. And look how fast we got this colored just by a little process of elimination there. Look how pretty. Wow. And just by adding these two in the dark, it enhanced the lighter ones just around it, didn't it? That came out really nice. Okay, so we have that, we have that. Let's go ahead and glue down our piece of DSP. And you could use any one that you'd like. I love this. I use that on the next card. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. So we'll go ahead and got a little dried out at the tip there. Here we go. Wonderful. So you put this right here. Oh, I have to color my sunflowers, right? So let's do that next. They're sitting right here, right? So, okay, we've got that on. Let's go ahead and color these. I'll use my dark crumb cake. Now this time, let's go ahead and do something a little bit different, just to show you. I'm going to color first with my light. Look at how light this Daffodil Delight is without the dark in it. I want to show this to you. Look at how different that one is from this. Isn't that amazing? Just around that part of the brown in the middle. So we're going to color all of these. So there's a lot of different ways to use your blends, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. You know, it depends on how deep you want your color, how light you want your color. Sometimes I blend, sometimes I don't. But I am going to add the dark to this because I really like it. But I wanted to show you, like the other way, we did dark first, then light over top, and then dark. And this is a very small area too. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the dark in here. And you're really going to see that this looks just a little bit different than the other one. so fun and fast. That's what I like about these things. Let them do the work for you. That alcohol just spreads right out. So here are our 3 flowers, and there's that one. And I know these are smaller, but I see that adding it a second time gives it a little bit more definition. And you could go back and add it if you'd like, but sometimes I like things to be just a little bit different. Okay, I have a piece of Mossy Meadow in there, and this is like, I don't know, 1.5 by 2, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead this time, instead of putting things on with the Tombow that I used, I'll show you our adhesive sheets. They come in this big, huge package right here, these adhesive sheets. And it's like an immense amount of them. There's 12 of them. It's huge. And you just have to cut these little pieces here. So I just, let's see where that breaks at. So you get the sticky side there. That one's not the sticky side. And the sticky side here. I always cut my piece of adhesive strip slightly smaller than the piece that I'm working with. And then I'm going to stick this right on here. Okay. And then I'll show you how easy it is to cut these little things and peel them off. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. And I think what we're going to do first, let me remove all of this. Let's go ahead and emboss our leaves first. 3D embossing folder right down here, used with 3D embossing folder, the 1, your project, and your 4 plate. So I'm just going to take my leaves, let me pick them up here, that I stamped on, and I'm just going to stick them in here any which way and close that, okay? And use my number 4 plate and run this through. It's so smooth. You don't even think you're embossing. It's like, oh, is that really working? But it is. So look how cool that looks. Just with the little stamping on it. Look at this side right here. Very rustic, right? Without it stamped. I really like it like that too. That's awesome. That's fun. So do whichever way that you'd like. And I know some of you ordered this embossing folder, so I know you'll have fun with it. Look at that. Wow, that's pretty. You could even ink on that. I'm having like a ton of ideas with that, right? Okay. So there's that. Let's go ahead and do some cutting now. We'll put our plates back in to cut with. As you can see, mine are well loved. All right, now I've got a piece in your kit of Cajun Craze. And it's like 2 by 2.5. You're going to use this larger pumpkin on this one. You're going to take your piece here that you put the adhesive on. And let's see.
I didn't get that.
So sorry. Siri sometimes loves to join in. Okay, we're going to put that right there. And I'm going to get the die for the sunflower. And this you might have to kind of jiggle around a little bit to figure out which side is which. There we go. And that's that. This one shoots out a little bit more on that side. So we only got one of those, so we'll have to cut this 3 times. That's good. And now let's go ahead and put this on here. And let's use our die for that one. That's so pretty. I love this spray. And I'm almost like in this card, I'm almost using the pumpkin itself like it's a planter. Like it's a planter. Okay, let's take this. Let's cut all these babies out. Now, because I'm on adhesive sheets over there, I'm going to run this back through to make sure that they cut. I know everything else has, but these over here that are on the adhesive sheet, I just wanted to give it a little bit more pizzazz there, a little bit more pressure. And here we go. Look at that. How pretty is that? Wow. That's so pretty. And again, you just throw your piece out. And here's our pumpkin. Little piece right there. There we go. And let's see how we did here. We have our one sunflower. We'll cut that again. And that should go right about here. I hope you're crafting with me and enjoying your class. Right here, I'm just going to poke these out while I got a second. And these little pieces too, they're loose. Just got to poke them out. Okay, now see, that has nice adhesive on the back of it. And then here, we'll throw this piece out. Just like that. And we'll take these little things out of here. And there we go. Okay, 2 of those. That's ready to be cut. Perfect. Oh, I have to cut my banner. I forgot my banner. Okay, lucky there's another sunflower to cut also, right? Let's cut our banner out. Here it is. It's like, where'd my die go? Okay, right there. I love to stamp on DSP for sentiments. You always get a fantastic background. Put that right there. And then one more sunflower right here. Just like that. Okay. Let's see, I think this can come up just a little bit. Reposition this just a little. Good. There we go. And another beautiful sunflower. And our sentiment. Now we can start to really assemble this card, right? We had to do a lot of prep work with this one. That's good. Let's just use everything, right? I always figure if I've purchased it, I like to use it, right? Let me clear that for the next go round. I use the squiggles a lot. You know, these little squiggly things. You can't help it. With the pumpkin, I have a piece stuck to my finger here. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, let's see. What should we do? Let's do the inside of the card now. So here's that piece of basic white, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. We're going to go ahead, this is going to go up here with some Tombow, so simple. Right up here in the center. Just like that. This is that little piece of DSP, and it is 3 1/2 by 1. I'm going to put it here with a little border at the bottom of white, of basic white. Let's do that. Just like that. Beautiful. Scooch it over that way, just a hair. Okay, now a little Cajun Craze. And our little dash and dots here. This was interesting. And I'm just going to place some down here on the bottom. So when I do something like this, I like to do one side, the other side, and then the middle. Cute. That's adorable. Just give it a little something different down there. You could also do, you know, a row on the top if you wanted to, but I thought that that was okay for sentiment then. You know, okay space to write a nice sentiment. Let's go ahead and attach this to the inside of the card. Little Tombow. right there. Sometimes I just like to, you know, it's if you have like objects, you can do this and then like get your fingernail under it. So I'll close it, get the front if it's flat, or sometimes I flip it over and it's flat and do that. Okay, so we have our envelope, the inside of the card. Everything is almost completed. This is You Are Missed. I want to put here in Tuxedo Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp it right here. Even though there's a little embossing, you're still going to get a good stamp here. And I'm putting it on the right, a little bit to the right here. You Are Missed. Perfect. That came out so cute. Didn't that come out nice? Nice. Okay. So now, and we're going to do something with our leaves here. Where'd those guys go? Here they are. Okay. Now, let's pull our leaves out, and let's get a piece of twine. I don't know. What about 8 inches? Let's do 8 inches of twine, okay? So yeah, right about 8 inches. So we'll get 2 of these. I think 8 inches would be good, because then that gives us 4 inches, because we're going to double this up, okay? All right, now, so we're going to take our little opening here at the top and our twine. We're going to fold this in half, and you're going to go ahead and place this end that you fold in here in the little hole. Okay, if I can grab it right there. Okay, then you're going to loop it around these 2 wild little strings right here. Okay, loop it around, and that gives you a nice finished edge. I kind of want these to be even. Gives you a nice finished edge in the front. I'm going to let it come to one side of that hole, okay, of the leaf. I'm letting it come to one side right here of the leaf, okay? Now, at this end, the reason why I wanted it to be almost even is I'm just going to make a knot. Just like that. Now, if these are uneven, you can trim them if you want. If they look good, good. And there is like no waste, none. Okay, so let's do the next one. You're going to take this. If you need a little bit more rope, you know, or rope, if you need a little bit more linen thread, just, you know, pull off like 9 inches or something like that. Thread it through from front to back, from where you stamped to the back, okay? This way then you get that nice finished edge in the front. Let it come to the side, and then tie your little knot up here. Just like that. And I'm going to just clip that one side off. I'm good. Wow, that's awesome. That's saving some material, right? Okay, let's start to assemble. First thing we want to do is put our pumpkin right here in the middle with a couple of glue dots. I mean, dimensionals. I'll just put 2 there. Call them glue dots. They're very large glue dots. All right, right here in the center, okay? Now we want to put our flowers over top, right here, and we'll drop that down a little bit. So I want some dimensionals up top here, maybe like 2 up here, and then I want the little triangles right here on these edges, or pieces, you know, something small. Something small right there and right here, okay? Don't need a whole one, that's for sure. And one up here might be just fine, really. One dimensional if you wanted to. Okay, let's put this here, drop it down a little bit, and make your pumpkin look like a planter. Isn't that cute? Okay, now let's go ahead and get one leaf. And I want to take this leaf and put, oh, that's why, yeah. Let's lift that up a little bit, okay? So try not to attach, excuse me, the top ones. You're going to take this and you're going to put this in here, just like this, okay? Then push it down, okay? But at the same time, your leaf is going to bounce. Why I did that is so that it would fit on the card base, okay? Now, these dimensionals have it, okay? You just need to sneak a dimensional or two underneath. I think one will do it, just like right up in here. Just sneak it under there. And see, it holds it into place. But to place it properly underneath there and have it on the card, don't attach the two up top right away. Wait till you kind of slip that in. Okay, now a glue dot, because we want to secure our rope. Let's kind of curl it up a little bit. And we're going to bring this down. And you're just going to kind of loop it around, and doesn't really matter where it lands at all. It could be out here, it could be in here. I think this one I'm going to do just about there. The other one I had it out here. It doesn't matter. Just loop it around. And then attach that knot with your glue dot, and that'll give you that rustic little loop right there. So cute, just like that. Okay. All right, let's do that down here. So we're going to take our leaf, and it should fit right under there. Yeah, I thought so, because we just came down here with the two dimensionals. So now we're just going to put a dimensional back here on the leaf, just like that. And we're going to bring it in here and just attach it. Make sure that you don't come off of your card. Okay, just for the envelope. And then we're going to bring this around. Or you could bring it up here or around that way. It doesn't matter. Wherever your eye wants to put it is just fine. I'm going to roll the glue dot up, put it on the back of my knot, and I'm just going to bring this little guy down right about here. Okay? Isn't that cute? Different way to use that. Now, it still needed, I thought it still needed a little something something. So here come our sunflowers. And I'm putting these on with glue dots. One here. That also helps to hold that pumpkin down. And now these two will be put on with dimensionals. And I'm just going to pull these little pieces off right here from the sides. I always tell everybody, always use every bit of your dimensionals. I say it in every single video, just in case there's somebody new. Okay, let's put this one like here, and let's put this one up in there on the corners. Okay. Oh, how cute. Wow. All right, now let's go ahead and add our amber gems. I love these gems. And this is going to go here, and then a smaller one, and then another smaller one right about in there. And there is this beautiful card. Oh, I hope you had fun with that embossing folder with me. Really came out nice. Oh, wait. Hey, I forgot to put my squigglies on there, right? And they're easy peasy. Let's go ahead and pull off the backing here, where we see what that did, what the adhesive sheet did was make this a sticker. And I'm just going to attach this one coming out from under here, just like that. And see, you don't have to add any Tombow or anything. Isn't that nice? And then this one, let's have it coming out the other way. And you just peel it off. Makes it just a little bit easier with little teeny tiny pieces like this. But, you know, Tombow works too. And there we go. How cute is that? Ah, I love these cards. I love this set. This was a nice fall set that I thought that Stampin' Up! Came out with. Really, really nice fall set. Well, I'll pick those up off the floor in a minute. And here is our third card. Oh, I can't believe we're almost done with our class. I hope you've had fun putting this one together. All right, back in a minute and we'll get to the last one. Okay, let's move on to our last card. And this is my very favorite one because of the side step on it. I just love that. It's easy. Okay, So when I stamped my envelope, I was going for 3 here, and then I kind of went up the side, and then I went up this way. I got a little carried away with my sunflowers, okay? I just really want to go up the side, that's all. All right, and then let's do that. So I'm going to use a little Cajun craze here. And then we'll talk about all of our pieces and parts over here. And I just want to kind of turn this little guy each time that I stamp it. And I don't want to go off the page like I did with the other one. Live and learn, right? There we go. Just like that. Just nice and simple, okay? All right. Now, so I'm going to move this aside. Now, with this card, you're going to receive these 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow, okay? And one is 4.25 by 9. That's this one. And then this one is 2.5 by 8. So, and then we're going to score these. Okay, so you've already received these in the kit. Okay, I'm going to put these aside. We'll score them in a minute. You're going to need 2 pieces of DSP here. This is 3 by 4 and 1 by 4. And I'm going to use this side of the DSP. It's just the other side of those squiggles right there. Okay, so I'm going to put those up here. You need a piece of scrap here, and let's just go ahead and stamp on that with our banner again. And we'll use Tuxedo Memento black ink. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, we've got it right here. Sometimes, like when I've purchased classes, I've always found it best to watch the class and then watch it again and do it. There we go. So, but however you guys, some people just dive right in, right? Which is fine. Okay, so there's that. Now, there is a piece of basic white for the inside, and this is 3 by 4. All right, let's go ahead and stamp our hello in crushed curry. So we're going to pick this crushed curry up to match what we just stamped right here on the outside. Okay, so kind of coordinate everything, and we're going to get our hello. And I'm going to stamp it in the center, or as close to center as I can get, right? I'm going to pull this down a little bit, okay? Just like that. Nice. And then just a little sunflower. It's all about sunflowers and just the Cajun craze right here. That's perfect. Okay. And we're going to move that aside. Now let's bring our leaf in. And a little scrap paper again. And I'm going to take this larger little, I don't know, happiness stamp. I don't know what to call it. And I'm going to stamp it in Early Espresso. And I'm going to stamp this just around, just like we did the other one. And we're going to emboss this one also. But this just gives it a different look with this totally different stamp right there, right? Other than that other small little squiggle. Alright, so we'll emboss that in just a few minutes. Now, let me move this out of the way. You're going to need a piece of, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you this one, another piece of DSP, however, and whichever one you want. This is what I chose. I love the black in the back with the pumpkins and the gourds with this. I just really like this paper. And this piece is 2.25 by 5.25, okay? This will go on the outside panel. So there's actually 3 pieces right here of DSP that need to be cut. This one is 3 by 4. This one is 2.25 by 5.25, and this one is 1 by 4, okay, of the DSP that you have to cut. Now, I also have these pieces right here, and this is what I'm going to make my pumpkin out of. Let me close my ink. And let's go ahead and do some die cutting first. Okay, we'll put this over here, out of the way, and this over here. I might have to, I don't know, we might bring this in a couple of times, right? Well, let's go ahead and emboss first. I'll just take that off really quick, just because my leaf was on the top. I'll scooch it out of here, and I'll get the embossing folder, and I'll put it just right up in here, wherever, doesn't really matter. You know, some has more, more definitive parts in it than others, so move it wherever that you'd like. We'll do it there. We'll get the little gray one, number 4 plate, and we'll emboss that leaf really quick here. Nice. Like I say, with this, you don't even know that you're doing it. It's like, it's so smooth. This is a beautiful machine. One of the best machines I've ever used, actually. And I loved my Big Shot. So there we go again, like that. All right, now, let's go ahead and put this back in so that we can do a little die cutting. Of course, we want to cut out our banner here. So nice. Like I said with the other card, I love to stamp on the DSP because it just gives it a little added something in the back of it, right? So I have a scrap here, as you can see, of my pumpkin that I could really use for that side of it too, okay? So I didn't want to throw that away without using it. Let me get back better in camera there. And a little piece of early espresso. It's like 1.5 by 1.5. And we're going to use the top of the pumpkin. We're going to make a pumpkin with our 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this out. Just like that. And now I will throw this out. Now this does have a little texture to it. You'll see it in there, just a little bit of the texture in there. And we want to have 3 of those. And I'm going to take my little piece out there and again throw that away. And we've used, now I've really used every single die. So that's good. Put that there. And I just have a strip here. Let's see, what's the width here? It's like a 1 1/4 of that DSP. And I'm just going to do my little pumpkins here. I want 2 more because we need 3 of these to create the pumpkin that I want. So there's that. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about scoring and folding that card. I'm like, okay, do I remember how to exactly get that? See, we'll get it. I'm going to cut a second one right here. I was just sitting here, I was just, you know, doing this, thinking about it. I was like, okay, next I got to score and fold. There we go. And right there, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there's our 3 pumpkins. Okay, now put that over there. And I think I'm done. Good. Wonderful. All right. Now, we're going to bring in the trimmer. Open the arm up there. Okay. Right there. Okay. Now, so you have this piece here, and it's 4 1/4. Let me make sure. Yeah, by 9. Okay, 4 1/4 by 9. We're going to score at 1 1/4. Let's use that score blade now. 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/2, and 5 3/4. Okay, 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 5 3/4. Okay. Then you're going to take this piece of the Mossy Meadow, and this is 2 1/2. Let me make sure. Yep, 2 1/2 by 8. Yes. And you're going to score this at 5 1/2. Scoring this at 5 1/2. So you have a short side and a long side. All right. There we go. Now we're going to bring in the bone folder, and this is going to come down. So fold it like that. And now this comes up, okay, where the little one is. Watch how I do this. This comes up, and this one comes down, okay? And this is what makes your card mechanism, okay? So, here it is. These two are the larger ones. So you're going to fold that. Then you're going to have these two here. Fold this one back and then back, okay? But that's really not, it sits like this though, okay? So here's your Z, or your mountain, valley, okay? So that's what you want this to look like. So it's like this, all right? Here, score, fold, fold back, all right? And you'll get that. It just has to look like this. And you might have to twist it around a little bit, a time or two, until you get this exact up, down, up, down. That's exactly what you need. All right, now this one right here, you're going to just fold it and bone fold that down. Now, when this is attached, this is going to go here in the front, okay? We're going to do this with liquid glue. You can use any adhesive that you want. And then this one is going to come back here, and we're going to attach it flat, okay? But first, we need to attach some other things, okay? I just wanted to show you that. Now, I have the inside completed, okay? Let's go ahead and put the inside of our card together. Let's go ahead and we did our hello with our little sunflower there. Just like that. And then this flaps down. Now on the outside here, the other piece that's 3 by 4, I want this back here. I turned the pump off on the pool a minute ago so I could open the window in here and get some fresh air. It's a beautiful fall evening here. Early fall, early, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss summer so bad. So yeah, but you can smell it in the air here in Tennessee. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on the front. So if you hear crickets, that's why. When you didn't hear them in the other videos, I would shut the window when I was taping. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And see, then the card's going to flip like this so you can see and write your sentiment, okay? All right, now let's move this aside for a second and bring this piece in. And my DSP right here, and I'm going to put that right there, okay? And this piece was 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. This goes right here on the front. Well, not that it matters, but I have all my PDFs done with the videos today. I'm really proud of myself. So all right, so we're going to set this off to the side. We did our leaf. Let's go ahead and do our twine. I'm not even going to measure it. I'm just going to break off, cut some off. It's good. And then I'm going to go ahead and double it and put the looped end in first so that you get that nice finished edge when you loop it around. So we're going to come like that. Okay, and then we're going to make our knot. And I'm going to give that a little snip. Just like that. Great. Okay, so that little embellishment is done. All right, now let's go ahead and, yeah, it's time to, it's time to put our pumpkin together, actually. Now, you can do this even with ovals. I've seen punch art done like this also. So you're going to take these two right here. They're going to come together. And depending on how wide you want this, okay? And then this is going to come here. I happen to like it this wide, and I like these two just not to overlap, okay? I just like them to be together. But I want this little guy to hold them in place, okay? So I'm just going to put my Tombow back here. Put it in the middle. I am going to bring in my silicone sheet for this because I might have some glue squish out onto my surface there. Okay, so these guys, just line them up. Just like that. Okay, and then put this one in the center. And let it grab hold of all three of them. And that's how you make a pumpkin. Isn't that cute? That's adorable. Now we're going to put the top on. A little Tombow right here. Remember, we cut this out. There's a little, that's flat down there. And you'll see that it is embossed at the top. And we're just going to hold that. So stinking cute. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take this and add dimensionals. I'm going to put one right here. And I think I really want a little straight one, like up here, just to give it, you know, some stability. Then I think I'll just, yeah, how are we going to do this? Are we good there? I think we're good right there, yeah. Yeah, I just need the stability down the center, and we're good. Oh, okay, that came off. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. Good. All right. I'm going to take this part of the card, okay, this little flap, and we're going to put our pumpkin on here now. And we're going to put it in the center. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and attach this here. You can either put it down with Tombow. I had to pop it up with dimensionals. It's just too cute. So I'm going to put those kind of in, not out to the ends, okay, because the ends are actually hanging off of this plate, of this space right here. And we're going to put this in the center, just like that. We're going to bring our leaf in right here, and it's okay as long as when I put it here, let's just see. No, see, you can't come off of this part of the card because it has to fit in the envelope, okay? So I might have to lift up our pumpkin a little bit. There we go. And just kind of sneak that under there. There we are. Perfect. And we'll do the same thing with this that we did with the other one. We're going to sneak a dimensional under there. We're going to sneak it right here. And that's going to hold that nicely in place, just like that. Let's go ahead and get a glue dot. Roll that up. And put it on our knot. And this doesn't matter. It can hang anywhere. So I'm just going to bring that up like that. Because that's just, you know, linen thread. That's just going to hang. Okay. Now, to attach this, so simple. Right here, this is going to attach right here. Okay? Right there at the bottom. Okay? So this, don't worry about this back here at all right now. The only thing we're going to do is attach this down here. And you're going to attach it right to the bottom. So isn't that nice? We have a like layering here and layering here, different DSP. I think that looks so great, all right? So I'm just going to take some Tombow. I'm just going to put a little strip right here. Spread that out. There we go. And I'm going to attach this. Make sure it's right there at the bottom. Because see, it has to sit up. So now you want to take it, you want to tap. You want to push it down a little bit, just tap, tap, okay? Hold it, hold it. Good. Now, with the card closed, have this flap on the outside. This is so, you're like, you got to be kidding me. This is this easy, yes. See this little flap right here? We're going to put a little bit of Tombow here. But you have, the thing about this is to keep the card closed. Okay, keep that closed. Bring this in and attach it to the back. And now, look what we have. Ta-da! Isn't that awesome? It flips up like this for your sentiment, okay? And it sits on someone's desk like this. Now, my Tombow's not all the way dry. I can feel it slipping. I don't want that to happen. This is a pretty card. Really, really nice. Isn't that fun? Wasn't that easy? So remember, it's this type of a fold, mountain, valley, okay? Up, down, all right? And that's what you have to achieve with your folds. And then to attach this is easy peasy. That's no problem whatsoever. And there's our card, our last card. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful card class. I sure enjoyed creating it, and I really enjoyed putting the cards together with you this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for ordering my classes. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you do a lot of happy crafting with this class. Thanks again. Have a great day. I had to get right back on here. I forgot to put the amber gems, and they're beautiful. I'm going to use 3 of the large ones on this one. So I know I said thank you very much, but I can't leave a video undone. It has to have bling. And then right here on the pumpkin. There we go. Now that's exactly what we needed. All right, everyone. Thanks again, and happy crafting.